Hello, hello, everybody. How is everyone doing? It's December 2023. How? I know I say this every video. Another year goes by before I do another video. Every day I gotta do a video. I should really talk to my people, but then life gets in the way. And certainly my life has transformed a lot in the last couple of years. Uh, as with a lot of us, the kids grow up and leave, the parents age, the parents die. My dad died last year. My mom's in a nursing home, so now suddenly I go over to a nursing home every day and I'm involved on committees and so I'm finally settling in. I know I said this a couple months ago on my videos, but it takes a long time to settle into new routines, new places, trying to get your head together. Creative people, we are unique, and that's not good or bad. We're just approach things, and even within creative people there are different levels of uniqueness, how we approach things, how we see things, our perceptions, our abilities to accomplish or manifest all the things we dream and desire to do. It can be quite challenging to meet our goals, have any modicum of success in this rapidly changing universe around us. So today, oh boy, today I'm gonna talk a little bit about writers behaving badly. There's been a whole pile of stuff piling up on this topic, and I've kind of been staying away from it. I don't think I've done a writers behaving badly video since Cheezine blew up, and we've never heard from any of them again. And I was hoping at some point to make another video about Cheezine, and it would be, a success story, but they've all disappeared. Anyways, but now we have new torments on the horizon. Let's see. And I have not done a dive of any kind on this, just have kind of skimmed headlines, have seen a few X posts, a few Twitter posts, but I haven't read a lot about it myself because it's really just the same old shit. Different day, same old shit. So my time's super valuable. I'm finally back to working on my own novels. Finally, after about a 10-year kind of head spin, I went into depression and mental problems. And then during the pandemic, I was working on screenplays a lot, and I have a bunch of screenplays out in the world. I'm hoping someone someday will want to do something with at least one of them. Feature films and TV shows, take your pick. I've been exploring again the world of remote viewing, and maybe I'll do a video on that one day. I'm not really sure how to explain it though. One of my screenplays fully is a TV show about remote viewing, remote villains. So there's that too. That's the best way to be a villain, is to be a remote villain. Anyways, but yeah, we're on to the villains of people in our own writing industry, and my goodness gracious. So what's happening right now, and I read a rather, I'm on Chuck Wendig's mailing list, and he wrote, if you're not on his list, go read what he has to say about all this. He had a very good view of it, as it were. Anyways, yeah, so from what I understand in the latest episode of Writers Behaving Badly is this person has just completely lost themselves. Like that's the word. Like, I'm sorry. And it's an over 18 channel. I could say whatever the hell I want. This person, those of us that have been in the trenches for like 10, 20, 30 years, like I've been writing for over 30 years, net publishing, writing, publishing, a lot of us. I mean, some of my friends have actually died during these times, like Weston Oakes and Lisa Minetti and Phil Nutman, Jack Ketchum, Rick Howdala. All these people have actually, sorry, I'm turning off my thing. People have actually dropped dead, living their dreams. Peter Straub, people have known, and and various levels of accomplishments, various levels of where they are in their work and what they wanted to do and continue to do. But I don't think, except for maybe Peter Straub, anybody had the advantages of the person that has now blown themselves up. This person, from what I understand, actually had a contract, which I don't know about you, but I haven't seen a contract in years. And the last couple contracts I had were embarrassingly shitty, and I can't even admit that I signed them for novels, not short stories. Short stories are a whole other kettle of fish. I'm talking about novel writing, which is why I myself am writing a novel for free on Substack, since I'm writing novels for free anyways, it seems, because I don't even know when I last got a royalty check from anyone anywhere. So I might as well write for free for myself and not worry about anybody actually sending me money, because no one does. But this person had money. This person had a sweet deal. I believe a multi-book contract. I could be wrong, but who cares? They had money. They got paid. They had a contract. They had a real publisher behind them, and their book was going to be on bookshelves in bookstores, like mine used to be way back before everything changed. And then they decided to just lose their minds, I guess. I don't know what they did or why they did it. I know what they did. They started leaving 1-star reviews on their competitors' websites. And they're not even competitors. And this is the word we all get caught up on, and I've spoken about it many times before. But this person who had this wonderful contract, a brand new writer, getting all the bells and whistles and bullshit that all of us wish we had ever gotten. And instead of being happy and grateful and victorious about this amazing accomplishment that so many of us fight to get, this person just destroyed it all. They just destroyed it all. They left all these 1-star reviews on people's books that were about to come out, and I'm not sure how many books. Then when they were called out on it, then they created all these other accounts pretending they weren't them but someone else, and leaving even more reviews, and it just became a big huge mess. And like I said, I haven't studied up on the ins and outs and the this and that's, but rightfully so, the publisher has pulled their book and they're done. They're done. And I'm just like, what happened? Well, again, I have not researched this person. I don't know if they're young. Maybe they're old. I heard that, well, I read somewhere that they blamed all this nefarious bullshit on being on drugs or being high or drunk or something. I don't care. Like, fuck you. Fuck you, writer. You're ruining it all. And once again, writers looking crazy. Writers having a gift horse in the mouth and not being grateful for what they got and how much more they got than so many of their peers who have been working way longer and way harder. And they just decide to be an asshole and blow it up. And so the bottom line is, I said that word, competitors. This is what a lot of newbie writers, writers like new in the business or immature, or they don't read a lot, or they're not infiltrated into the community. Most writers are introverts, which is why we're writers. So yeah, we come and go from various communities, whether they're online or, something like an HWA chapter meeting or whatever. You don't have to be a social butterfly. You don't have to be that good of a person if nobody knows who you are. But so I guess this person thought all the other writers in the world were competitors, and they were trying to position themselves as being above everyone else. I don't know. One thing I say to my students is that writers are not in competition with each other. And the reason why that is, like, even if we all answer the same call for, okay, we're opening, like the HWA, for instance, right now has an open call for short stories for YA, based on a classic of literature that's already happened. I didn't do it because there's over 2,000 people in the HWA right now, and I don't have the time and energy to write a story that's just going to get lost in the shuffle. The HWA already handpicked their precious favorites for the anthology, and so there's only a couple of open slots. Anyways, that's another whole game. But the thing is, even people competing for those precious few slots, however many there are, 5 or 6 or 10, I don't know. And even though there's probably over 1,000 writers, let's say half of them are like me, like I don't have time, don't have energy. And if I write this story, there's nowhere else in the world I can sell it. And for me personally, I'm not a YA writer. So why would I bother to try and write in a genre or a form that I'm not familiar with when I'm in competition with people who do this for a living and win lots of awards doing it? There's no point. But even so, even if you're one of those 1,000 writers who have submitted to this contest, or it's not a contest, but the call, every single one of those stories will be different. And even if, let's say, 20 people picked the same, like Tom Sawyer or something, to write about with the horror angle for a YA audience, they will have a completely different version of that story than everyone else. And the reason why that is the elements of storytelling, which is we tell a story in our own voice, right? And even if you still haven't found your official voice, you still tell a story how you tell a story. And then how you tell a story, you may still be, sometimes I imitate Poe, sometimes I imitate King, sometimes I imitate Barker, and, as writing exercises and getting our brains going and stuff. But even if you're emulating or paying homage to someone you greatly enjoy, it's still your own interpretation of how they would interpret the interpretation of this story, and then the way you choose to tell the story and the elements you use to tell the story. So you're telling a story, but it's from, like me, I tell a story from the Suffer-Jerome angle. I see the world with my Suffer-Jerome eyes. I interpret events through my Suffer-Jerome life experiences, and then I choose what I want to present on the page from all this information gathering. And then, of course, since we're fiction writers, I'm talking about fiction writers here, these opinions may or may not be our own. We may approach the story from a racist point of view, even if we're not racist, because it has to do with, because we're talking about Tom Sawyer here, right? So you may come to it with a racist point of view because you're trying to add a dramatic element and perhaps teach a morality or humanitarian lesson through the telling of your story. And that would be a totally different interpretation than perhaps someone who wrote the story as maybe a bird on the fence watching Tom and his buddies whitewashing the fence. And he's telling his story. And then, someone may tell the story from Tom's point of view. And so just in a small example of this contest or anthology opening, we will have 1,000 different stories because it's 1,000 different writers writing them. They will interpret the information how they will. They will regurgitate or present a story from everything they've assimilated, and then they will tell that story in their own narrative voice or in someone else's narrative voice. They may tell it experimentally, and they will tell it from different characters or from an omniscient narrator and so on. And then to chunk it down even more, it may be in first person, it may be in second person, it may be in third person, right? Then again, it may take place in the past, it may take place in the present, it may take place in the future. And on and on and on. The layers just go and go and go. So when this person had their career launch situation, they didn't see the world like that. They saw all the writers around them as their competitors, and if those writers were successful, they wouldn't be. But when it comes to the arts, that's usually not how it goes. The arts are the arts. You're going to get fans and you're going to get haters every time. And because there are so many ways to tell a story, to interpret a story, there will never be the same. You're never in competition because, okay, I will tell a story from the Suffrage Own. I'm a woman, and I'm, old now, right? I'm a mom, I'm a daughter, my dad just died. I have a specific, I've been divorced a couple times, so I have my life stories and how I approach my storytelling from those angles, even if I'm writing as like a bird in a tree or a young gay man, something like that, right? It's still me living my life and then telling a story. So the person who lost their minds and gave everyone 1-star reviews, they didn't get this kind of education, I guess, about how we're not in competition with each other. And in fact, when it comes to the writing world, most of us band together. Most of us have a lot of friends in the community and in the genre. I'm in the horror genre, and I have been making friends in the horror genre for, oh my God, over 30 years now. And like I said, some have died, some have gone on, some have stopped writing, some have just started writing, and so on. And there'll always be different levels. But the thing is, with writers, we need to help each other. We can help each other by just telling each other about places to get published. We can help each other by telling each other not to be an asshole. Don't knee jerk. Don't react. Don't answer those reviews. There's a lot of things you can do to help yourself in this horrifically competitive business. However, let's say there's 5 slots a year for a novel at Tor. It's a competition, but not, because you may have just written a novel like someone else's and they already took that, but it wasn't a competition because yours came from your point of view, from your writing angle, how you write, how you interpret, and so on. So we're in competition, but not. And, the more we help someone else, the more we get helped ourselves. And so we can have these moments of people sending you market reports or passing your story along to someone else, to an editor or a publisher, because you've been sharing your work and helping each other. And then the more we share, the more people are apt to share. And I've been helped so many times in my career by people, sending my work on to someone else or suggesting I contact this or that and so on. And not because I'm an asshole too. We all are assholes. I try not to be, but I have my asshole days for sure. Obviously, we all do. But when I was running the Ontario chapter of the HWA for, God, almost 30 years, one of the mandates of just having that chapter was for everyone to help each other, to get to know each other, to share market reports and publishers. Who are the asshole publishers? Who are the asshole editors? It's more important to know who not to go to than who to go to. Because dealing with a nefarious agent or editor or publisher can really screw you up for years, not just career-wise, but just mentally, physically. You lose trust in yourself and in other people when you're dealing with people who have ripped you off or lied to you and so on. It's like any relationship, like marriage or an agent or whatever. So this is why writers have to really help each other, because we have to warn each other, and just, be decent human beings. So this person was behaving badly. This writer behaving badly. Woo, maybe they behaved badly. And yeah, what's going to happen to them? I don't know. And we've seen, it's like once a month, once every few months, we see this kind of thing. But this was a big one. The one that just happened the other day was pretty spectacular. I don't think we've seen one that big in a very long time. Usually it's small press in the horror field, and only those of us in the field, and actually half the time, half of us in the field don't even hear about it because people have blocked us, or we just don't see the posts or whatever because we have lives and get on with things. But this particular one, and it made the friggin' regular news. That's how you know how bad it was. Writer bullshit usually doesn't make regular news. It really doesn't. No one gives a fuck about writers or artists or comic books or any other bullshit, right? We're just doing our thing because no one writes about plumbers either, right? But this last little song and dance, it's everywhere. And I don't have to name names or nothing because you can Google that shit for yourself. So don't be that person. You score yourself a really cool deal with a publisher. You dance and sing and have a party and parade it all around and brag all you want. Please do. But don't be kicking other people in the teeth. Just don't. You got your moment of glory. What more do you fucking need, right? Like, how greedy are you? I'm sorry. I know this is full of profanity. I don't care because I'm angry. I am angry, as a lot of my peers are, that this person had the most magnificent opportunity to build an amazing career. Boom. Done. Done like dinner. That's my rant for today. And yeah, talk to you soon. Don't be that person.